steal our hope, to blind our eyes. He whispers fear, he wields the sword, but he cannot silence the living word. Every drop of blood becomes a seed, every broken heart cries out a creed. The gates of hell will not prevail, God's truth will stand, it will never fail. From martyrs to saints, their crowns are won, their witness shines like the rising sun. The enemy strikes, but heaven proclaims, the faithful are lifted, God knows their names. The apostles stood, though chains were near. They sang in prison, they cast out fear. And in our day, new voices rise. Charlie's faith still testifies. Every silenced word becomes a song, every trial proves where we belong. The Church of Christ cannot be destroyed, for death is swallowed up in joy. From martyrs to saints, their crowns are won, their witness shines like the rising sun. The enemy strikes, but heaven proclaims, the faithful are lifted, God knows their names. Will we bow to fear or stand unashamed? Will we hide the cross or bear his name? This is the hour, the choice we make.
Finding the right words to use for this song. I have you in mind, so it won't take so long. Love is that I find you, but you're here, and so I love you.
All right, guys, we're going to react to this real time together, okay?
Is that Charlie's event and Charlie was just shot, and it doesn't look good. We went on it. I watched Charlie being shot one time, and my team, many who are former special operations guys and combat medics, lots of experience, they viewed it multiple times because I wouldn't, and they said Charlie wouldn't live from that, and I knew it. I knew the only time I saw it, I knew there's no way he could have survived that. And when I made a post and said, you know, Charlie's passed, of course I know Frank Turret, I know the security teams. I put it up, and then I didn't see anybody else posting it. I thought it was premature, and I pulled it down because it just felt wrong that I would post it. But I wanted people to pray. And then I contacted Erica through a text and told her. I just told her that nobody's going to kill you. You're safe. You and the kids. No one's coming after you. They just wanted Charlie. And I was just trying to reassure her. Because
So you declared he was dead on the basis of people saying it didn't look good.
on the basis of people, myself included, who've held dead and dying men from combat in horrible situations. And anybody who saw the killing and has that experience, no, we knew he was dead instantly.
I struggle with that one a little bit. I think that's quite audacious for someone to, because you did make a post initially saying he had been shot, pray for him, and then you did a follow-up and then said, you know, Charlie's passed on, and said pray for Erica. So it just seems like there was some information in the corridor there that led you to that conclusion. And also in terms of the people who did post early on, I believe Jack Hibbs, Amir Safari, I think I'm saying his last name probably incorrectly.
That's
definitely
correct.
all a part of that same sort of turning point faith orbit of pastors, and Jack Hibbs took down a video saying that actually there was an Israel channel that reported it first and had the information before anybody else.
I'm not aware of that.
Yeah, so I was wondering if you were all perhaps sharing information, but you're saying
No.
you just did that by yourself, no information.
Well, the
and
first
then-
post I made was to ask for prayer, and I knew, I just my gut level from watching it, he's not gonna make it. And then, but we believe in prayer, and if not, Eric and the kids, the first one we went to, that's why I texted and said, "You're safe. They're not gonna come for you," because how terrifying to know someone's just murdered, assassinated your husband. And when I posted the second time, that it had been a little time, and I just kind of spoke from my heart regarding it. But what I don't understand is why the inquisition on that from you?
Well, because we
What's
just
your
wanted
point?
to know where the information came from. Obviously, if we're looking into everything that happened that day, we're going to look at
Yeah,
who was the first to announce that Charlie died, and you were very early, and you removed it also. So it was an interesting item that people obviously have questions about.
yeah.
Okay, and then you were among the first to post. Obviously, you and your wife. Actually, maybe it was actually just you in the first 2 days that went to Erica and Charlie's place to provide her some comfort. So you were quite close to Erica.
We brought our team immediately to help give relief for the first security team, who I knew when I was in contact with, and they were suffering trauma and exhaustion. They didn't have a secondary. So yeah, we went there. Of course, my bride was with me. Her and Erica are very, very close, and we were just standing by to bring comfort or help. The number one need they had, and we felt like it, and we were asked to, is to provide security, to give relief. So that's what we did.
Okay, and just out of curiosity, how did Eileen and Erica get so close?
Um, there's a lot of women that, reach out to my bride for mentorship, and Eileen's like I don't know, perhaps a second mom to Erica. We've been close to them, and they still are. They were texting this week, and Erica reaches out, and we respond, or we reach out and encourage her. So yeah, they're very close.
Just sort of became close over the years.
Yes.
Okay, great. That just asking you questions. That's not
Yeah,
trying to
no,
speculate
no,
anything. Just
I'm fine.
really trying to understand what the relationship is here, because there are a lot of themes that keep popping up, and one of the things is your involvement in trafficking and charities. A lot of seems to be like a running theme of a lot of people that are in that orbit. And I wasn't quite clear as to how you were able to involve yourself, I guess, outside of the military. Maybe you could explain this. In Afghanistan, in Iraq, in Haiti, where else actually could I ask you that? Did you ever go into Eastern Europe? I feel like there's always a Eastern Europe bend too.
Yeah, no, not physically. We didn't do physical operations there. But how we got involved into it, my time ago, a couple of decades before that, I worked for Dr. James Dobson as an assistant. And we initially got into this aspect, or space of ministry, to help kids who were abused and suffered, many who were incarcerated, which was often a pathway for them to follow because of crime and mental health issues. We were invited, first I was invited to go to Burma by Dave Eubank, who I consider kind of the godfather of high-risk missions work. And he raises children in Burma, Thailand, but they did missions work they still do, for decades. But it was me going there, experiencing what we did, seeing things at a whole different level. And then I got invited to go to Iraq when ISIS invaded. And the purpose was, and we had an invitation by the Kurdistan government, we had access placement and an official invitation to go in to help those who had been held captive by ISIS. I brought in partial psychology team, partial security team, because ISIS was everywhere and we needed to provide our own security. We went there the first time in 2015, the early part, and it's a very hot zone. We thought that would be it, Candace. We just thought we'd go in and help. We saw the enormous amount of IDPs, which are displaced persons because of ISIS having to flee cities, and the number of kids. And it was actually through my wife helping a girl who had been held captive. And this girl told Eileen, she said, "You really care about all of our sisters." She was a Yazidi, and she refers to all the girls still being held captive. And she says, "Yes." And the girl pulled out a phone, gave it to my wife, and said, "This is from ISIS Emir in the house I was held captive. And I hope it helps y'all find more." And actually, she had asked for my wife's, she kept looking at my wife's watch. Before that, there's a picture of it. It's actually very beautiful. And my wife said, "Do you like my watch?" And she said, "Yes." She goes, "Well, you can have it." And she gave it to her. And that was the first of many times going into the region and many missions to help those. We didn't plan. It wasn't our focus to rescue women and children at all. It was our focus to help those who've been traumatized in these IDP camps, which some had 30,000 people in them. But they were lacking basic necessities for women and girls. They were lacking what we provided: dignity kits for personal hygiene. We provided food. We provided water. We started providing surgeries as our donations came in. And never did we take any governmental funding. To this day, we haven't. Everything that we've done has been documented. We've documented
Well, I
year
think
after
some of the
year.
doubt comes from the fact that people were not able to locate any of these, like 45. I think the number you claim is 45,000 kids and women that you've rescued. And 45,000, is that what you told Sean Ryan? 45,000, I think, was the number.
Have you ever read or heard me say we've rescued 45,000 women or children?
I think we played the clip. I might be wrong, but 45,000, I think, was the number. Producers, you can remind me, but I think I heard you say 45,000 in the clip.
You have to be very specific.
Yeah, on the Sean Ryan show.
Yeah, it was not rescued nowhere, including the Sean Ryan show. Have I ever declared in writing or verbally that I ever rescued 45,000 women and children? That's absolutely.
Do you guys think you could pull that clip?
Yeah.
I'm going to have the producers pull. I'm pretty sure you said 45,000.
Yeah, just play the clip in context.
Yeah. Do you guys want to play that? Is there a way? I'm just trying to see if we can get the producers to pull it, so I don't.
Yeah.
They'll pull that. I'm pretty sure you said 45,000. So are you saying you didn't rescue 45,000 people?
Well, what I'm saying is I've never, me, said or written, or our organization ever declared we rescued 45,000. We've helped. We've provided trauma relief, and some we've definitely rescued because it's part of what we do. Our mission statement for All Things Possible Ministries is to set captives free physically, emotionally, and spiritually. And we stay within the confines of our mission, and we're very successful in what we do, but we document it in a way that if people simply go to our YouTube channel, they can see it. If they go back, they can watch the history of our social media. Nothing
and how
was
many
ever
people?
deleted.
How many people would you say you've rescued? Because maybe we're parsing here. You're saying you freed people, rescued people. How many people would you say that you have rescued, just to get a number from you?
Well, we would never declare the total number of people we've rescued for both security and safety reasons, but we're happy to say that many have been set free and rescued in multiple places. From ISIS is where we got the most. I think people started recognizing that because of how high risk it was. My wife and I, the last mission we were on, we rescued. That was a rescue of a mom who had been held captive 9 years. She was kidnapped as a teenager, had 2 children inside of captivity of ISIS, and we planned a mission for 6 months, executed in 5 days. It's documented, and she's back home with her family. Unfortunately, her dad passed away while she was in captivity, and we never told the family we were going to attempt to rescue when we were doing this. That's documented as well, and we show pictures and videos of the mom and the kids in our safe house inside of Iraq.
August WTI assessments at Midland. I think one of the things that makes people really uncomfortable with a lot of these couples who involve themselves in rescuing and trafficking operations in charity is that we do hear this repeat thing where you say, well, it would compromise their safety if we told you where they went.
Sure.
And that makes us have to trust you, right? And trust that you're an honest person and that you're an honest dealer and that you're in fact rescuing them and not, maybe holding them in captivity yourself.
Yeah.
And so when you get a person like you who I think, um, I have some questions about your character. I think that that's fair.
Sure.
And you say that you're in this business and that you do everything, and the people that say you're not that person are all troubled. For example, the young woman that you said you rescued from a pedophile who says another story, and she makes the claim that she believes that you're a part of the trafficking
Right.
ring. How is it possible for people to be able to prod that narrative if you can always just claim, well, the people that we help need privacy? I mean, that would be a perfect setup for like Jeffrey Epstein, right? I mean, if you just want to traffic people and then say, well, we can't tell you where these people are because we got to protect their identity. We've got to protect everything about them.
Candace, I think that's not a bad question because there are no doubt, and there's no doubt in my mind that there are organizations that are actually traffickers that pose as counter trafficking. We've been doing this for, many years. And we work bilaterally with law enforcement. In other countries, we still work through government agencies. Um, uh, and the best way to prove the authenticity of claims is two ways, or three if you want to go all the way. One is people who've been on the mission, credible individuals. I have quite a list of operators who've done security work, intelligence gathering part, who either still have or did have the highest level of clearance in the U.S. that worked for the CIA or Joint Task Force or Delta. This is not something that people winch at because we have a history of high credibility and integrity.
Yes, the CIA, I would say, is the biggest trafficking organization in the world. So that's not a vote of confidence, right? So if you say, I did it with the CIA or the IDF, I go, yeah, well, so did Jeffrey Epstein, right?
Right.
So that doesn't, I don't think that like saying I do it for the government doesn't lend credibility.
Well, let me clarify. I don't disagree with your statement. There are very corrupt governments, and I work for none of them. The agency and bring a set of skill sets that are trustworthy for us. And the third way would be the actual victims themselves. We just got a video from Southeast Asia. I didn't ask for, but one of our safe houses there, they were so hurt and disgusted by the false allegations against me. And it's only happened since I've entered the political realm, which is a completely different beast. But they made a video and sent it. I couldn't even watch it all because it was victims that we had saved and helped. And they're sending a video to try to prove to the naysayers that, of course, what he's saying is real. And that's on our social media. People can watch that. It's either AI or a bunch of people that are paid. And we've been doing this far too long and with far too much integrity. And if I was doing anything nefarious, believe me, we would have already got in trouble for it, but we're not. The other one is if you just come. If you ever, Candace Owens, if you ever say, I want to go to the Middle East and meet people and see firsthand what you've done, if you'll accept the risk, I'll give you my word that you can be on a team. We'll take you there and we'll introduce you. As long as you sign an NDA and make sure you don't reveal some of our network, because we still do the work. If you want to go to Southeast Asia, well, you can bring a camera crew. We'll introduce you to one of our safe houses and see the work that we do. It's just we've always kept things closer to our vest. We've raised our own support. And the most important thing that has helped us is prayer, because we have been able to do things that people said could never be done. So that's the point I'm making regarding this aspect. Now, regarding Holly, the young lady that you brought up in Canada, you know what? Everything we said about her is true. Everything we did is true. And here's what I would say to people like yourself, and I haven't heard you accuse us of doing anything nefarious. You only repeat what others say. But regarding Holly, this is what I'd say to anybody. Has anyone talked to Holly's mother or her father? If you haven't talked to her mother or father, then you haven't done the very basics of investigative work. 2, we met with an HSI, human trafficking specialist at the border, who approved us to get through from Canada to the U.S. and gave her temporary status. Have video that they just posted yesterday of Holly telling the truth about what we did to help her. And look, I've had those videos, but I've never put them out since they reached out to Holly. And it wasn't Holly that reached out. It was Holly's pedophile who groomed this girl since she was 13, had sex with her at 15. She is sadly, a very damaged individual. They've already had a child. And I'm telling you, the people who have platformed her pedophile on the conservative radio station here, they're going to be held accountable because they've re-victimized this girl. She has Stockholm syndrome. She hasn't been posting. The last thing they did, and I was told that these folks here who are trying to discredit me, Candace, told her, if you and Les will sue Victor, try to get him for trafficking, you'll be able to make millions.
So Victor, an easy question for you. Have you ever done anything wrong?
Of course, but in what context?
Just in your ministries, in these relationships that you've had with people that claim that they find you to be manipulative and abusive. Have you ever done anything wrong?
Candace, I'm human. I've messed up plenty, but in the area of integrity, I've never intentionally gone after anybody. I've never manipulated, maligned, or tried to do things for money. So yeah, I mean, watch my film, read one of my 2 books. I talk about plenty of self-evident, ways that I depend on the grace of God. But I don't know if it's that hard to believe that somebody that came from my background, who feel like I've been given a second chance in life, my goal as a kid growing up was to become the man that I wish somebody would have been to help save me. And I turn around and God redeems my life for a greater good. What's so hard to believe about that? That I made right choices. I didn't have to end up in prison. Yeah, I struggled with drug abuse as a kid. I struggled with my temper early on, of which I told people. I would, about once a year, I'd punch or kick a hole in the wall. That was many years ago. I told people I was under psychiatric care, 123 visits to a trauma specialist. Why wouldn't I, after the abuse that I went through, which was severe, and torture? My life is a redeemed life. Never do I claim to be perfect. But my passion is I love people because I'm loved by God. And I don't know why, only since I've come into this space of running for governor has all hell broke loose.
I mean, personally,
do you want to talk about that?
Well, I think you've been honest about your relationship with the IDF. I think you've just said that you have relationships with them, obviously. You went on Charlie Kirk's show after October 7th. You've said you foster a relationship with them. I'm not saying nothing was said, just to be clear, that was illegal about your relationship with them. There was nothing said that was implied that you did anything illegal.
Ask me what I did with the IDF. Ask me so I can tell you. Why don't you ask me what I did with the IDF? Why did I go to Israel?
After October 7th, we played the clip on our show when you were on Charlie Kirk's show.
Do you know what I did there, Candace?
I can say what you said on the Charlie Kirk show, that you went there after October 7th to be able to tell the story of what had happened there and to separate propaganda. People would say it was propaganda.
Correct.
But yeah, so we showed that.
Well, let me tell you, we helped 6,000 children who had been affected by the war between Hamas and Israel. And it was because we had access places and an invitation that we were able to go into these places.
Who invited you?
A nonprofit that was based inside of Israel, who was a Special Forces IDF guy who's followed us for years. We got invited in. And, the first question I asked him when I'm in kibbutzes with blood and gore everywhere, I said, Why didn't the government respond? What happened? And my friends who lived there said two things, Victor. One, we were unprepared and we underestimated our enemy. I said, how long did it take for the government to send reinforcements? It was 6 hours. 6 hours. I asked every fighter, why? Why didn't they respond and help y'all? Why did they leave y'all here fighting? Why did so many women and children have to get killed? How come they didn't respond? No one has an answer. And someone should be held accountable for that. Because I'm not there to back Israel. I'm not there to back Palestinian folks. I'm there for women and children. And we put our life on the line to help. Over 6,000. I went into the West Bank. And yes, I did go into Gaza by virtue of these special operations teams. Not to shoot, not to kill, not to kick doors in. I went to pray. And we helped Palestinian kids who had been injured as well. This is who we are. And anything other than is just ridiculous. We handed out lion and lambs.
What do you think
What's your
about
travel
what
tools?
Israel is doing in Palestine at the moment?
Well, I know this. I know amazing IDF fighters. I know amazing people who are protecting their homeland. I love children on both sides of it. And I've been with great of a government that waited 6 hours to send reinforcement. It's a 20-minute flight by helicopter. It's a 45-minute drive to send troops down there. The reasons they said, I still don't know. And I was told by everybody, there'll be an investigation afterwards.
Yeah,
but I know this.
I think it was to establish the pretext for what they did in Gaza. I'm just asking, you expressed that you and your wife care deeply about women and children.
We do.
And you can see the footage of what they have done to Gaza since. So I'm asking you.
It's horrific. While we were there on the Israeli side, we had over 2,000 rockets launched at us. How are they still firing rockets? I said from the beginning.
No, I don't mean as Israel as a victim. I'm saying now I think the victim has flipped, obviously.
I think innocent people on both sides paid a price. Paid a horrible price.
But do you believe what's happening in Gaza is a genocide?
I would say this, it has turned into a genocide. But the question I have to ask, and you should be asking too, why didn't Hamas stop firing rockets when we were there doing humanitarian work? There was over 2,000 rockets fired at us in the areas that we were at. It was nonstop. I said this from the beginning. I put it online. I was on Fox. I said, Hamas needs to stop firing rockets in the beginning. Stop firing. Return the hostages. Return them. And then there'll be a ceasefire, work out something. They never did. And that's the question. Look, I love Palestinians. I love the people. I've helped kids, women. I love them. And to see people innocently slaughtered because of a terrorist group, Hamas, that continues to attack Israel, what are you going to do?
Well, I think the terrorist group now might be the IDF.
No.
Right? Because of what's happening in Gaza. I don't think that that's done by people who are not terrorists. I mean, I don't. Have you seen the videos of what's coming out of there?
I saw the videos of what Hamas did. It's horrible.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
I do want to just show you, by the way, your website said that you rescued 45,000 people. I just want to show you that. This is the old website. Did this get changed? But a pastor, I don't know who changed this. Maybe you had somebody doing your website and that got changed. Did you have somebody make the website for you?
I can't.
It says a high-risk humanitarian who has rescued more than 45,000 women and children.
That's completely inaccurate. I would have never. What website is that on?
It's victor2026.com.
We never, anybody, they're saying that was on our website. I don't believe that. We would never
say.
Yeah, I don't.
It's just, when it will still save former edits on a website. So it may have just been your website guy got something wrong. So I just wanted to let you know that we didn't.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so that is very interesting to hear your perspectives on what Israel is doing. I think it's probably going to be a #1 issue in I think right now, currently, people feel that the majority of the politicians have sold out to AIPAC, and I would definitely have some, questions about your relationship with the IDF. And like I said, Corby did not say that you did anything illegal by, if you are,
Well, I can tell
you
you,
are legally allowed to buy
never
and sell
did I
guns.
ask, never did I ask Corby for 50,000 weapons fighting. Why? I have an FFL. I only buy stuff for ourselves for our training. That's ridiculous. That's absurd. And again, Corby's still loose out there. And if he's watching, Corby, please turn yourself in to some authorities. Let them question you. And like I said from the beginning, please get help. Don't act upon the thoughts you're
So
hearing.
I'm sorry. Are you presenting that he's on the run right now from the federal government? Because that's a remarkable claim.
Yeah, I'm not saying he's on the run, but I'm saying that the authorities are looking for him to question him.
Have they tried to call him?
I guess, I don't know. It's both the FBI and El Paso
That would
County.
just be a good start if they're looking for someone to just call them, right?
Well, I'm sure they have. It's an open investigation, but I'm just saying Corby should just stop whatever he's doing and respond to authorities to get this sorted out.
But you don't know if they've reached out to him, but you're saying he should stop and respond.
I do not know. They've contacted me and said, "Do you know where he is? Do you know where he would be?" And I'm like, "I do not." So
okay, well,
that's why I'm
just to go back, just so you know, the way that you said it in the first time, you made it kind of sound like he was on the run from authorities, right? Turn yourself in sounds like when you say turn yourself in, it sounds like there's a warrant for your arrest. So this is what I think that sometimes you can get. You don't realize it, but you can get a little fantastical in your descriptions. Corby, stop what you're doing and turn yourself in is a little bit different from, I have no idea if they're reaching out to him, but I was told they might give him a call, right? So that's a little more reasonable of a statement to make.
Well, let me make it very clear. The FBI has contacted us. It's an open investigation. And El Paso County Sheriff Department, they are looking for Corby. Plain and simple. He should stop what he's doing and contact them or turn himself into local authorities wherever he is so he can be questioned.
You don't have to turn yourself in if there's not a warrant for your arrest. Respectfully, that's not how that works. They just have to call him. I think that's a perfect place to leave that. Let's not pretend. If you said there was a warrant for his arrest, that'd be a little different, but you are not required in any of these states. I want to stay away from the fantastical stories and the narratives and just stick to the facts. Like I said, I've heard that there's an open investigation into you and has something to do with guns. I don't know, but I wouldn't just assert things.
True.
We could say, Victor, stop what you're doing and turn yourself in because somebody got a phone call.
That's a complete fabrication.
Okay.
I work with law enforcement.
Okay. Well,
Candace,
we'll leave that alone. So
we
you
don't
assert
have to.
that Corby's accusations against you are.
If someone said they were going to kill you and they told somebody how, would you want that person to talk to the law enforcement?
I have no evidence of that, and like I said, some of your stories, just a perfect example is what you just did there.
It's Corey
you say
Kennedy
stop and turn yourself in.
Platformed Corby. Obviously, this is a little bit more.
And I am platforming you right now, actually. So here we go.
Yeah, but I've done nothing wrong. If anything, that's just incredibly sarcastic.
Yeah, I was being sarcastic. I find you to be arrogant and off-putting, actually. It was a little bit of sarcasm of me basically pointing to the fact that you come across as very arrogant, and it is off-putting that you make statements like you make. Stop what you're doing and turn yourself out. You're constantly presenting yourself like you're some sort of an authority. You can just deliver the facts. I received a phone call from this person. They said they might be looking for him, and I don't know where that went since. That would be a logical, non-emotive statement.
It's completely appropriate for me to say law enforcement is looking for an individual who confessed to someone who platformed him on your show, connected y'all, that he is homicidal and he wants to kill me, and this is how he's going to do it.
I just
same way
don't
that Charlie
know
was killed.
if I believe that the feds would need you to help look for him if that were true. They do have resources. But like I said, I also don't believe that you beheaded a cat when you were 3, because kids are not that strong, and that's a hard thing to do. I don't believe you wore a cat head. Because there's a lot of things that you say that I don't believe. So I'm just going to file it under.
But I'll tell you, be very careful in minimizing someone who's been victimized, including children, because there are millions of us out there.
I do
Perhaps
not
if
believe
you-
I do not believe the story
perhaps
that
if
you were
you
forced
were
to behead a
abused,
cat and it was your
You don't
first
have
memory.
to.
Yeah.
You don't have to.
I just
But be
just
very
the
careful
and
minimizing.
wore a hat. I don't believe that. I truly don't, and that is not to victimize children. I do think that what you're actually doing is you're being a
First of all, I'm a trauma survivor, okay? That irks me. What she's doing to him irks me. What is wrong with my ears? Why can't I hear properly? I might be Okay. I feel muffled. My hearing feels muffled. I think I'm disassociating because that really triggered me really, really badly what she was doing to him. I can tell he went through a lot in his life just by his demeanor. Like he's not being arrogant. He's being honest, and she's minimizing his honesty and weaponizing it, which really irks me as a trauma survivor myself. I mean, if I even spoke about what what I've been remembering, I'm sure that my mother would dispute and say things like, "Oh, she has mental health issues, she's making it up," and all this kind of stuff. I'm pretty sure she would say such things. I'm currently going through trauma counseling to try and process what happened to me. It's still muffled. Okay, I got to try to ground myself, y'all. So I'm going to go. I will be back in time-lapse videos and snappy snaps here and there. I'm disassociating, so I got to go and ground myself. I'll post today's questions. And I'll also post today's devotionals. Hey guys, I gotta go. I love you all. I hope you have a wonderful morning. I'm really, really sorry I didn't talk too much this morning and we just had to listen to this bull-ish. But I really wanted you guys to hear how ruthless she is and how insensitive she is and how she laughs when it's inappropriate. You know what I mean? It's very inappropriate the way she was laughing when he was talking about rescuing people from war-torn countries. You know what I mean? She was laughing. That's another reason why I'm probably disassociating. Okay, I gotta go. I'll be back. Love y'all.
They told me I was outdated, just a shadow of the past. Said long skirts and shawls don't shine, they'll never last. But I don't dress for fashion shows or this world's fleeting praise. I'm clothed in grace and reverence in the ancient ways. I'm bringing modesty back. Yeah, it's heaven's kind of track. Beauty's not in what you bear, but the peace you carry there. A gentle spirit, pure and true, that's the crown that makes me new. I don't need the world's applause or flattery's attack. I'm bringing modesty back. The word says older women should show the younger how to walk in piety and faith, to keep a sacred vow. Not loud or bold in vanity, but steady, meek and kind, with heaven's light upon their face and Christ upon their mind. I'm bringing modesty back. Yeah, it's heaven's kind of track. Beauty's not in what you bear, but the peace you carry there. A gentle spirit, pure and true. That's the crown that makes me new. I don't need the world's applause or flattery's attack. I'm bringing modesty back. Long dresses twirling in the wind, a shawl of grace around my skin. It's not frumpy, it's not shame, it's a holy woman's flame. I'm bringing modesty back to a world that's lost the track. True beauty shines in purity, in hearts clothed with eternity. No runway lights, no flashing signs, just a soul the Savior calls to find. And I won't bend, I won't crack. I'm bringing modesty back. I'm bringing modesty back. Yeah, it's heaven's kind of track, trying to track, to walk in piety and faith, to keep a sacred vow. Not loud or bold in vanity, but steady, meek and kind, with heaven's light upon their face, Christ upon their mind. Long dresses twirling in the wind, a shawl of grace around my skin. It's not frumpy, it's not shame, it's a holy woman's flame. Final runway lights, no flashing signs, just a soul the Savior calls divine. And I won't bend, I won't crack. The ultimate sign, love poured out, eternal divine. He showed us the way, the cross to embrace, to live as his own, unashamed by his grace. In a culture of death, we choose to speak life with faith unshaken. With courage we rise, the enemy trembles when truth resounds. For what God has anointed, he has crowned. God endowed, God crowned. We will not be shaken, we will stand our ground. Heaven's witness, earth resounds. God endowed, God crowned. I see it in Erica, I saw it in him. A faith unbroken, light that won't dim. Living examples of truth proclaimed. The legacy burns in Jesus' name. This is the moment, hell's gates shake like Christ's own blood for our soul's sake. Death defeated, our path is clear. God's kingdom advances, his reign is near. God endowed, God crowned. We will not be shaken, we will stand our ground. Heaven's witness, earth resounds. God endowed, God crowned. God endowed, God crowned. We will not be shaken, we will stand our ground. Heaven's witness, earth resounds. God endowed, God crowned. Husbands and wives in covenant stand, children of promise held in his hand. Turning points fire, a torch reborn in Christ's own power. New saints are born. God endowed, God crowned. Every faithful life is heaven bound. His glory shines, his truth told me I was outdated, just a shadow of the past. Said long skirts and shawls don't shine, they'll never last. But I don't dress for fashion shows or this world's fleeting.